spent a lot of time riding all three on the track, and gents, what do you conclude at the end of our day?
Well, for me, the Ducati may not have been the quickest bike, but it definitely has the most stability. You put it over in a corner just like it's on a rail, and on a faster racetrack with long corners, this thing would do a lot better than it did on this tight little infield circuit we were at Auto Club Speedway. Also, it's a motor. Unlike most V-twins, you just gotta rev the pee out of this thing, and once we figure that out, it actually hauls ass pretty good. And it's a fun bike, but I don't think it's the best one of the bunch.
Yeah, fine. It's still badass. And what we learned today riding the 848 is similar things we learned yesterday on the street. Is stability is a key element to the 848 EVO, and it's more of a beneficial factor at the track. So ultra confidence inspiring mid-corner. Entirely unflappable chassis, if you guys maybe agree with me.
Yep.
Great feedback front to rear.
Yeah.
Surprised me, Triumph, and I think you guys probably had similar feelings, is again, the dyno charts kind of belie what the bike can do, and it was amazing how well the Triumph's engine performed in the face of these two more powerful motorcycles.
Definitely, the motor's a treat, and out here there's times when the Duck was kind of lagging in the lower RPM power band, and the Triumph really just exploded out of the corners. Really, like, it feels like a bigger engine than it actually is.
Well, that all being said, when I was riding around with you earlier today, and I was riding the Triumph and you were on the Suzuki clearly has motor on top compared to the Triumph, and both bikes have a pretty usable power band. It's just that the Triumph has less overall power, and so eventually you're just going to reach max. For me personally, I was surprised that the almost inline 4-ish nature of the Ducati's power band, about how you have to really be up in the R's to feel it. It's kind of sluggish down below, in my opinion. So yeah, the Triumph, my choice for the street. It's a fun bike on the racetrack. I mean, it's so nimble, so much, like I said yesterday, character from the engine. Brakes are fantastic. We did notice some front end chatter from the suspension under hard braking, which was something I saw at the intro at Chuckwalla. Could never quite figure out how to dial it out. So it's kind of disconcerting in a way. Overall, a fantastic package, and in my opinion, the Suzuki also. Great chassis, very neutral and linear. Great engine, power up top, power down low. Great brakes, Brembo calipers, rubber lines. Even still felt like you had all kinds of modulation with the lever, which is what I prefer. And so it's a tough choice between the three of these bikes, guys.
Indeed. However, viewed in the context of racetrack setting, where we're not so wrapped up in aesthetics and engine character all the time and things like that, and looking at maybe from the perspective of a racer, where they're looking at a functional, well-honed tool, boy, the Suzuki in its years of development really performed well and shone well here today. We kind of lagged it off a little bit on the street, where it was a little cookie cutter and not so exciting for maybe the qualities that these bikes had. But when we get at the track, where you put that stuff aside, when it comes to scalpel precision, the Suzuki was very impressive, as well as its strong motor, wide power band, excellent brakes, as Troy said, very neutral and nimble chassis as well. For myself, something that's a little hard to pin down just exactly why, but it comes back to its rider ergonomics. We talked about this with the GSX-R750 in our Super Sport test. Very similar ergo layout, very similar chassis. What the 600 had is it instantly made you feel comfortable. The 750 I found had the same quality. For me, what that translated to was feeling comfortable right away. I was immediately able to ride more aggressively, and that was reflected in my lap times. I just basically went quicker on the Suzuki, and I was able to do that sooner.
So yeah, for me, Ducati comes in third in this test in my mind. We're on the racetrack, lap times matter. It's not the end all be all, but it's very important, and I was just the slowest on the Ducati.
At least in this configuration.
In this configuration,
Yeah.
true.
Faster
This is
track.
a very tight course, and it may not have played to the Ducati's attributes. Come to this bigger layout, might be a different story, but as of today, the Ducati would have to sit third in my book. My personal pick for as far as entertainment value goes, the Triumph. I had an ear-to-ear grin each time I was riding this thing. There's just so much character, it's so much fun to ride. My lap time wasn't too much slower than the Suzuki. Maybe it was, what, half a second slower than the Suzuki. But like I said again, we're at the racetrack and lap times matter, and I went the quickest on the Suzuki. And it's as simple as that. It's a quick bike. It's kind of boring. In a way. I mean, it's kind of hard to say 100 miles plus is boring, but the Suzuki just gets the job done, and that's it. Whereas the Triumph and the Ducati both have character when you're riding it, and
But they both have their limitations.
what he said.